Hello and good evening, everyone, and welcome to
The
get me off
truth
track. The truth behind
behind the
the truth.
truth.
Woo, got some tired puppies on here tonight, y'all. We out here working in these streets in LA. But of course, the success of everything will get paid off eventually after all of this hard work, sacrificing, cussing and fussing and folk, yelling at them coming down the furrow. And all that, and all these alleged people we work with and everything. So, but anyway, we grateful, you know, because there's people out on these streets that don't have a job, don't have a place to lay their head, you know.
And they seem to be somewhat happy.
Well, I don't know about all that, but they just maintain it. I mean, I'd rather be having a little, work issue rather than not out of my mind out there on the street. You know what I mean? 'Cause we got a
Well,
lot of
it
people out there.
depends on
Uh-huh.
what rocks your boat. I mean, to be honest with you, hey, that you
Yeah, it's something, Darnell, on your speaker side that is picking up.
it's buzzing like a buzzing
Yeah,
doesn't
and
be.
that had been.
But going back to
There
what
you
I
go.
was saying,
Okay.
it depends on how what rocks your boat. Some people don't want.
Yes.
Some people are happy without.
Well, yeah. I agree. I mean,
Some people are happy without, and some people are happy
with
with. So at the
well,
end of the day, it just depends on what makes you happy.
yeah. Well, I'm happy with, and I won't keep with.
That's what
I want you to be happy with. I want Darnell to be happy with. I want Charles to be happy with. All my circle and inner circles and circles of them circles. I want y'all all to be happy, with, because I believe that we're here for abundance. It just seems like it takes a minute to get to where your place of abundance is, but it's out here. You know what I mean? We all come to this place with some sort of determination in our lives to be successful. And I admit
Depends
it.
on what is successful to some people.
Well, true. I agree. That was a $10,000 question of the day. Because everybody don't accept success as a certain way. I mean, some people think the status, demeanoring themselves and not having any expectations on, they consider that success for them. Everybody's level of success is different. I mean, you got to put you off camera. And I get it. Darnell and I used to talk about this a lot when we were, working together at the same company, and things like that, and what was predicated on success, because that company, which I'm still employed with, that they rate you by your success about how much money you write them. And then they pay you less than 6% of what you write for them.
pretty much.
But I was telling my team today, and that what I'm working on is building business-minded people in a situation such as the company that I work for. Because you cannot go into a place like that, anticipating and say, I work for somebody. You know what I mean? Because it's not designed to be that way. You'll never make any money going into that particular organization saying that I work for somebody. And it just doesn't pay off. And they were like, well, that makes sense. And it changes their perspective, on what they need to do. And our perspective now going forward after the 20th of next month is going to have to be changed in a lot of dynamic ways as individuals. That's lots of things we're talking about, throughout the remainder of this year's season. We're introducing tonight a new series called Defying Gravity. Now, yeah, I wonder where we got Defying Gravity from. Okay. We will elaborate on that tonight. Okay. But we want you to start shifting your mindset to be able to defy gravity, meaning that you're going to have to rise above a lot of situations and circumstances that maybe around at this point of the year and moving into 2025. But if you position yourself to rise above gravity, then you'll be able to manage that, and you'll see it from a different perspective. So we're gonna be able to talk about it, from a different perspective. Now, where we get that from, okay, now I'll let you guys go ahead and chat, is from the play originally, Wicked. Now for the phenomenon of a movie, Wicked as well. So it has introduced another culture of this iconic film, and I'm saying that because I'm, as you guys know, I'm a big fan. I've been talking about that for the longest. Did you get a chance to see it, Deep? You didn't go, okay. Well, we will let you elaborate on it when you do get a chance to go, but we did see it. I think when we're off on break, right? Yeah. And we'll talk about that a little bit tonight. There are not really any major spoiler alerts about it because it's already out there. you know, but it has some very powerful, strong moments out of a lot of films that have been out for so long. It really does. It
A
has
lot of
that.
symbolism.
A lot of symbolism, exactly. And then we'll kind of touch on that a little bit, you know, and maybe we'll break it down in sections so that, you know, throughout these series of shows that, you know, I think we get a download about that and we'll share it with you. Anyway, E, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing all right.
Good.
Pretty good. I
Good.
can't
You're working. I like that t-shirt. That's nice color on you.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's your complexion.
Thank you. Thank you. How are
Make the
you guys doing tonight?
complexion. Huh?
How you guys doing tonight? Dollar, I
Good,
know
good, good.
you're tired.
He's on a little bit of the tired side, you know, but he looking handsome on camera as always.
I'm tired as all.
Yeah, he's tired as get up.
Listen, don't talk about it. I feel like I feel like I go from one something to another, and I have literally the whole week. I think I've had a combined of not even
excuse me, guys,
20 hours of sleep for the whole week. So I'm running off of fumes at this moment. Truly running off of fumes.
Wow.
And I got to get to have a moment of being able to sleep at nighttime. I got to get until next week.
Wow. So you are
both jobs. So,
oh my God.
Yeah, it's
sorry. I'm not meaning to interrupt you. So are you taking off before tax season?
I don't know. I'm trying to see because right now I'm working on the audit for them, and then I got to turn around and start the audit for my actual job. Or whatever the case would be. So I don't know. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna figure out to find a break in between somewhere.
Because I know you dive in on the tax season, so you know.
Over it. I didn't even want to think about tax season.
Right. But you know, as an accountant, I mean, I wish I would have kind of kept on my skills of that after getting that little certification I did. You know, I didn't realize at the time that it would be beneficial to doing people's taxes. You know, and at the age that I accomplished that, I was like 24. It was when I first moved out here. Because I went to school, you know, way back 100 years ago when I lived out here. You know, I took one of those accelerated courses. You know, and, you know, it was about I never used it. You know, I never used it. But surprisingly enough, I don't consider myself great with numbers. You know, but I think what it did was it allowed me to be able to see a number and be able to mentally break it down. And it's like every time I come up with something, it's like right, you know, versus me having to sketch it out, you know, because I can look at stuff and tell, oh, this, and this, and this. But if I had to write it down, forget it.
The greatest gift now is the fact that everything kind of work, and it does the work for you in so many different ways. All you have to do is just do a lot of plugging in.
Right.
For certain things. Now when you start to having to do the write-offs and all the other type carrying on, that's when it can become tedious because you don't want to be sitting behind them folks jail like somebody should be right now.
Should have been, would have been, could have been. It ain't gonna be a bit. But we'll continue. How you doing, him?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm just, you know, I've never been good with numbers. You know, my numbers are just
they run together.
I'm more of a right brainer than a left brainer. So us right brainers, when it boils down to anything that has any math or science,
you keep losing yourself.
I know, but
you are you a history buff.
I love. I read a read and research.
He is really.
But that math ain't never been my best friend. It used to be the worst. It used to be the worst thing.
We're gonna keep losing stuff on camera.
Oh, it'd be all right. They know how I sound. Some of them know how I look. But still, though, going back to what I was saying, you know, honestly, I mean, math was never the greatest skill for me. And it's, you know, I envy people who get numbers, who understand it, who can think on a whim with it because they seem to make the most money.
Well, yes and no.
I don't know.
It's you got to take the thing about it is this. You have to. Well, the others make a lot of money. Now, we have to go in and go 5 million times harder to be able to get a portion of what they even getting.
Okay.
You know, because we come in automatically underestimated.
Right.
Because we know we always a thief. That's always the kicker. That's the thing.
Always.
That's so I tell you, it's more than an ocean.
Yeah, you know, and then that was one of the things, and I'm gonna tell you guys about a little incident that happened to me this morning. The thing about it is that, well, when I started out life 100 years ago, and things when I was in school, I think both of y'all know this, and I think Charles does too, is that I wanted to be a psychologist, because I had always had the point that people gravitated toward me, wanting to meet the advice, right? So, I went to school with that, started out prereqs and all that, and enjoyed human behavior studies. But then what I realized is that back then, 200 years ago, when you were trying to, establish yourself in that another 14 years was ahead of you to be a private practicing psychologist. And you could have done it in 6 to 8, but a clinic psychologist doesn't make any money. You know what I mean? They probably make right now, maybe a little bit more nowadays because there's more dependency on that field. But I'm saying probably maybe 35, 40 an hour as a clinic psychiatrist.
Oh, wow.
And that's not any money.
Trust me.
It ain't no money.
Trust me, I was a dummy and went and got my doctorate in psychology.
Wow. So you know what I'm talking about. You know what I mean? And it's just because I love communication. I love helping people be better at what I always what they've been doing. But I realized this is way too long, way too much money, to try to do that. But anyway, so today I got to my store and the alarm went off, right? Okay, I didn't know it went off because I thought, somebody came in prior to me because like a lot of different people have, close to the store, right? So I went in and didn't hear it. All right. So I didn't de-engage when I walked in. Okay, so I'm getting stuff set up, whatever. So one of my open the back door so one of my associates would get in or whatever. So I was sitting at the desk and I also heard tapping on the door. Well, it was the local police department, right? So they came out, and so we got an alarm that the back door was open, opened up or whatever. I said, oh, okay, well, nobody did but me. Because my colleague just came in. I said, when I got here, that the normal siren sound that comes off, an alarm when you check in didn't go off, right? So he said, okay, so I reprogrammed and said it again. So okay, this is what got to me. All right. I said, well, I'm the manager. He said, oh, okay. And then he says, all right, well, and was that all? I said, yeah. He said, well, by the way, do you have any ID on me? You know why I called y'all, right? I'm in my job. Okay. I'm in my job. All right. And I already established who I was in my job, in my place of employment. I ain't outside. I'm standing in my job. So he asked me, did I have any ID on me? I said, well, sure. Yeah, I got it. So guess what? He ran a check on my ID. Can you believe that?
He did what?
He ran a check on my ID. Wow. And I thought about it. I was like, what the you know what I'm saying? He called my ID in to, the dispatcher, they call it. Oh, of course, he came back, oh, there's nothing there. But I'm like, what are you doing? That's if I would have been like somebody else. You know what I'm saying? I could have went way, way, way off because you had absolutely no right to call. Or for the first of all, you're really asking for ID in a situation where I already established who I was. You know what I mean? And in my store, I'm telling you who I was, and then I explain to you what possibly happened with the alarm system, and I'm programming it in front of you, and then you asked me for my ID and did a check with my ID. Called it in. I said, okay, you know what? Maybe it was God and his divine spirit that said, JB, be cool. And y'all know I ain't no race card person or whatever the case may be. But I thought about it later. Maybe my creator blocked me for that moment of not really like thinking, you know what I'm saying? And just responding. Because after I walked away, after he had gone, I said, that son of a asked me for my ID and run a check on my ID in my place of employment. Okay, we'll pick that up. Defying gravity is our focus. All right. So we're gonna find some ways to do it. We got a lot to talk about tonight, guys. We got a quick break that we've been notified of. We want to say happy Thanksgiving to you guys because we weren't here last week. Thank you so much I'm about to turn into it tonight. We appreciate you so much. I want to say hey to my brother El Ovan Jackson. You know, my brother's got a natural commercial going on that night. I'm gonna give a shout out to him. I think he's watching tonight. Yeah, really, really good commercial. I'm so proud of him. But anyway, so happy Christmas is coming in. You know, we're here. We're in the mode, and we'll be as we're going about the show tonight about our upcoming Christmas show and what have you. All right, quick break, and we will back. And we probably won't take more Christmas breaks. Christmas break, Lord. No more commercial breaks tonight as we get into a little bit more dialogue. Okay, we'll see you in a few minutes. All right, guys. Thank you so much for tuning into the Truth Behind the Truth tonight. I know for the past 2 weeks we had not reminded you about getting your mug with us. It is a holiday season again. Those mugs are available, $13.99. Send that email to ttbttshow@gmail. Request, and we'll get in touch with you to get that mug out to you. All right, or 5 likes, 5 shares of the show. We'll get you one out complimentary as well. It's time to support, guys. Not support, but support us. All right, please. All right. We got to keep this thing going. But anyway, so go ahead, Darnell. Piggybacking up to what I was saying tonight.
That was yeah. You know that's really kind of crazy. That's just like now in my part-time job, everybody under the sun know who I am. Everybody from one end of the building to the other, because therefore you can't get nothing done in the building without me. From day shift to night shift, you can't get nothing done because once I leave, the day shift is coming in. So everybody, I know everybody. Always. So the other night I was coming in, the crowd of people coming in. This normally there's security guards that's at the front or whatever. They just was like, they know who I am. They'll be like, oh, they'll like just come through. This security guard, I don't know. He's been after the fact of November 5th. He's really been something different.
Oh wow!
So he's normally never on the door, and I'm coming in a group of people, and I'm just like, all right, I needed the other supervisor was standing on the other side, and he was one of the floor supervisors, and he was asking me. He was like, hey. We just had we need to get access to be able to pay out $100,000 and some or whatever. Because I said, give me 1 second, let me get through, and I'll be on so we can go and get it done or whatever the case would be. So you saw me interacting with the guy. So the other people go, you do them an ID. You say I get up to him and I say, I greet him. I said, good. I said, you doing all right today? And he said, yeah, I'm fine. I said, oh, okay. He said, I need your ID.
Whoa.
And I said, you need my ID? I said, clearly, why would you need my ID when you just saw me talking to the supervisor, the floor supervisor, and everybody, all the other security guards know who I am. I said, you're acting as if you're new. I've been here 3 years, or whatever the case would be. I said, exactly. I said, you seen me on multiple times on the floor or whatever. I said, I had to go when I'm making my rounds and I'm doing my audits on the tables, when y'all are turning around and having to go and take the gray bins and change out the chips or whatever case be. You remember me having to help you the other week because of the factor of y'all we were working on the audit? He was like, yeah, but I still need your ID. I said, okay, fine. I gave him the ID or whatever. So he stands there. And I told him, I said, because he heard me saying, I'll be there in a minute because of what I need to do.
Right.
He stands there. He holds the ID in the middle of Westcon. and doing like this.
Uh-uh.
And I told him, I said, you can you give me my stuff back? I got work to do. Whatever the case be. Then the other one who know me, black guy, he come up, he's like, bro, he got he good like that. Then he handed him the ID or whatever the case be. I told him, I said, I don't know what the fuck is going on with him tonight. And I said, I don't know what the fuck is going on with you. I said, but I do promise you this. I said, make this your final night.
Wow. There is truly something in the air. Go ahead with your situation, because I know you're out in different areas every day, and are you running across anything such as that?
I mean, not close to what y'all got going on, but to be honest with you, every
mute yourself. Yeah, I think that same feedback is coming.
All these jobs have their situations, and to be honest with you, it's no different. I have a situation, but it is a little different. But to be honest with you, it's to be expected, because to be honest with you, when you work on any job, you're going to have situations where people feel like, communications are off. People, act all types of brand new and stuff of that nature. But yeah, I mean, like not just yesterday, there was a situation where I had to do at least about 4 accounts, and I get this phone call saying that I need to come back to the warehouse, and there needs to be like a conference or something like that. So I go in, and and I did a what we consider a down route, when somebody calls out literally, and you have to go in, you have to sub for them and all that jazz. Well, I did this past weekend, I did a small format, gas stations and stuff of that nature. Went in there and did about 4 7-Elevens and stuff of that nature. Well, come to realize that the lady who seems to run that route claims or alleges that I did not do my job correct, right? So I thought about it in the midst of the conference. He's explaining to me about the situation, and how she's very organized and all that stuff, and how things allegedly how she's organized, and she does a really good job. Well, to be honest with you, in my mind, I'm like, so what are you trying to get at? Well, he telling me that, well, she claims that you did not do any type of, any type of, what they call rotation and stuff of that nature. And I said to myself, you know what, this is really ridiculous, because at the end of the day, if there was any type of note that needed to be sent back, why did she send the note back to me? Right. And then on top of that, the weekend how many days has it been? Yesterday was Wednesday, right? It's been since
yes, it was
Thursday.
No, Friday. Yes, it was.
Oh my God! You know what? That's how crazy time has been passing. But Friday, I mean, yesterday was Friday, and we're talking about the weekend.
Right.
How many days has it been since I've been working? I worked that shift, and then on top of that, you have customers that come through too and tear up things as well. Mm-hmm. So how would my thing is, at the end of the day, why so late in the game when this should have been like a sort of like a Monday ordeal, not a Friday ordeal. Mm-hmm. But it's just the fact that the situations on on these jobs can be really ridiculous. I have told him, I even went as far as to tell him, like, now I'm gonna have to start taking pictures and documenting right now. Right. So let's just say today, for example, I went through about 5 accounts. I took pictures all up and down the aisle. And I took as many pictures as I wanted to and sent them back. So I know I might have harassed a lot of people today, but at the end of the day, these people, and I'm going to take it there. Some of these folks think, because of who you are, they think you're just a DEI. They think you're not worth your job. Your situation. Yeah, he didn't think you were a manager. He just thought of you as another black man that might have all of a sudden broken into the store. In your situation, Darnell, he didn't want to believe that you worked there. Mm-hmm. So, people need to realize that the society we live in, you have people who will look at you and think, well, you're out of your place. And I should be in your place, basically. And that's the saddest thing about having to work in these United States of America, where you do have people who still believe that because of, this skin color ain't going nowhere. It is not going nowhere. I hate to say it, but you know, the saddest thing about it is you have people who will look at you and look you up and down and say, you don't belong where you're at. Right. You need to be where I think you should be. Wow. And that's the situation that I think all of our situations are. You know, I hate to say it, but there are people who think that way.
That's true.
And I work around people, you know, don't get me wrong. I don't want to believe, but I can't be ignorant and I can't be too naive to the situation. I'm sorry. I'm in the scheme of things, I think people are ignorant to their own worldview.
Wow. Okay. So thank you for that tremendous lead in, because this leads right into what we're kind of discussing about Wicked. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And the defining points where we are with defying gravity. You know, the biggest thing about Wicked, I don't know if you've seen the Broadway show, guys, or please, if you haven't, go see the movie. Okay. You won't miss anything. And the movie follows exactly like the play, you know, the live Broadway show does. But the story is about the Wicked Witch of the West backstory. Okay. And how she became the Wicked Witch of the West, which is nothing like Oz, you know, created her to be. Mm-hmm. All right. She's actually much better as a human being than actually what you thought Glinda was. Okay. And as you get together and you see that and you find out how the story goes and how she was such a great humanitarian. All right. But she was looked down upon because the color of her, what you just say?
Her skin.
Color of her skin. So people assumed that she was one way. Okay. And because she was green, all right, they thought all kind of things, you know, and all of these other types, like you said, centering her out, not wanting to be a part of who she was, being in school and how they teased her being in school. She wasn't accepted in this committee, in this group.
She wasn't even accepted from her family.
She wasn't accepted from her family either.
Yeah, she was an outcast.
A true outcast. The only person that really accepted her was her sister. Okay.
I don't think she really accepted her either.
Well,
I really don't. I really don't think she accepted her. I really think, to be honest with you, was the Wicked Witch of the East?
That was her sister.
That was her sister. Right. I don't think really. I think, to be honest,
became that sister anyway. But go ahead. Yeah,
she was. Elphaba was her caretaker.
Right.
And the saddest thing about that situation was the father favored her over Elphaba because of the situation of her skin color. Mm-hmm. And to be honest with you, the saddest thing about that is that there was not really a true sisterhood. She was really a loner in all of her situations.
True.
So to be honest with you, when you see the movie, you really see that she really had nobody on her side, which is why a lot of people, you know, in these times, you know, mental wellness is key. But then you have to realize that a lot of people go through this journey, and they're having hard times dealing with things where, you know, you feel like I have people, but, you know, really, I don't feel like, you know, there's a community. I don't feel like there's somebody embracing me as me. I'm having to live up to somebody else's idea. Okay. And to be honest with you, I think in Elphaba's situation, she was always having to live up to the idea of taking care of her sister instead of being who she should have been.
Right.
But to be honest with you, that's the situation. And to be honest, the movie is
do you know? You know, Disney did. It's a series now. It's called Agatha Alone. And it's kind of give you the backlog of her as well. And it gives you what brought her to the place and a whole lot of different things that was kind of, so her biggest thing is she ended up being a person that didn't know how to trust anybody.
Right. You know, and this, I'm glad we're talking about this because, like you said, it's a lot of symbolism in that movie. And if you haven't seen it, guys, I'm really telling you to go see it. There have been, well, I won't get into that part right now. You know, it really it's a very healing point for a lot of people. okay? Because when you can actually identify with the struggles that you have had as an individual based upon you, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in color. It could be your size, okay? It could be that you are a gay man or a lesbian or a trans person or even a straight. I mean, and then it's not about sexuality in this, but it's just these are situations where you're always isolated because of what you are and what you represent. I mean, heterosexual person, hey, being a bald man for a long period of time, bald men were not even accepted, at the end of the day. I mean, you had to have hair, and to this day, certain communities don't embrace being bald. They would wear that bozo, around the sides, and all is going up here, but you got bozo going around the sides. I say,
I can't even look at Prince William. I can't look at that.
Let it go, baby. Let it go.
So ugly and so old. I hate to say it like that. I really do, but he has aged himself with that bowler he got.
Right. So. I mean, it's just like, so you ask yourself the question, why? Because there is a level of acceptance that people gravitate, or men gravitate to having hair. At the end of the day, on their head. And it does wear heavy on their psyche when that doesn't happen, because you have a huge community of people that will ridicule them for not having it. And typically, I think that, black men have been the ones that's been on the forefront of really rocking the ball head. At the end of the day, it's like, they're going to let his head go. There's a few black men ain't got the revelation yet. But for the most part, they're like, if it ain't working up here, it's about to go. And they go around and doing it. Now we do see that our Caucasian brothers are getting into it a little bit more, and they're accepting the fact that you don't have to have hair to define who you are. Another point of defining gravity, okay? So that's a different scope on everything. But we all have, in some sort of way, a few or some great things that we are trying to live out through in society. But I love how you were breaking down, Alpha, but even more. We'll dig into it a little bit more. Go ahead, Darnell. You can bring your point in. I know you're about to say about
that. But that's the thing. I think it's like, we as a people, we get so caught up on how others feel about things and how others view you and how this, that, and other. And then that's why now it's so many lost people out here in the world.
It's true. Exactly.
That's how we had so much. That's how we end up with a lot of this fuckery that happened on the field, because people didn't know exactly who they were.
How long I've been saying that on this show?
Well, yeah. The peer pressure of following the group is absolutely insane. That is the reason why black men will never be whole.
Wow.
And to be honest with you, the saddest thing about that is we're always looking for people to define us when we should just be our authentic selves. That's why, Tank, did you see this interview with Tank? This guy who was, I don't even want to put the show up there, but it's so sad that the host was, they were talking about sexuality and they were talking about, the LGBTQIA. And the guy was saying that he was walking somewhere and he felt some type of way because another man was complimenting him and the way he looked. And I kept saying to myself, what's so sad about that situation? It was better to just say, thank you, and just keep it moving. But you felt some type of way. And Tank told him, they were having a discussion about sexuality within the male's aspect of it. And he was saying, the situation it's not really a big deal. People are living their life truthfully. And you don't have to be a part of that truth. You just need to not only embrace it, but respect it like they've been respecting you and keep it moving. Now that was Tank's, platform with that. Like, he was like, don't get me wrong. He said, I have had to understand as a singer, I don't only have women fans, I have men fans. And I respect them because they have given their all-time hard-earned money to me. So if I go to Pride and I sing at Pride, that is my prerogative. And there is nothing. And they respect the fact that I have a wife. But then on top of that, I shouldn't down anybody for what they are and what they represent, because they're still people at the end of the day. But I really wanted him to go in depth a little bit more with that. Well, and he did probably in some aspects of it. But the saddest thing about it is, like you said, people will follow the crowd because at the end of the day, we don't want people to see us and our full truth. And let's just say this, and I will take this there. Sexuality is fluid. I believe it's fluid. That's why I tell people all the time, I don't need to know. I don't need to really assume, because we're all human beings. We're going to all walk this journey of life experimenting and doing things that we don't want people to see, but we have had these situations. So I feel like people need to be truthful.
Right.
So there won't be no situation where, oh my God, I feel exposed. You said
that's like the actor Tom Hardy. He played Venom, the one who played Venom. He stated, and it's crazy, it's been still circulating around social media. And he said, he told people they said something about a comment that he said that he was like talking about a guy was very attractive, and he was like, I've done everything. It's nothing that I haven't done. I've had gay sex. I've done all types of stuff. He's like, I'm an actor. I'm a creator. I've done. I can't turn around and act something out without being able to really know what it's about.
Thank you.
And it's crazy. He was like, just I don't care about all this stuff. He like, I have a wife. My wife don't care about all that. She care about me.
Right.
And what we have.
Even on the Breakfast Club, the rapper, she's a woman rapper. I think it's Deontay, this new rapper. Look her up, Deontay. But she even wrote a song about her ex, her finding out about his bisexuality. And she was on the Breakfast Club, and she was telling them, I had no issue with his bisexuality. I had issue with him not telling the truth, because I myself as a woman, I am bisexual. And I have no issue with people being bisexual. But tell me the truth.
But you know, Tank, you was just speaking of Tank, though. Darling, Tank stated on an interview before, stating that therefore he's gotten oral and had played with by men.
Wow.
And that's a journey we all have to walk through. I mean, at the end of the day, I haven't slept with a girl, but I had my experiment with one. I had my experiment with men too. Case. At the end of the day, we all gonna have to understand that this is a journey. Whether this wasn't a great experience, but hey, I had it, and now I have moved on. Right. I think people just need to be real about it, and stop having people, when you're trying to defy gravity, stop letting people pull you down because of your experiences. That's true. That's my thing. Just be truthful, and I think as a society, we would be a whole lot better. We'd be doing a whole lot better, but we're so busy wanting somebody like Trump to tell us who we ought to be.
Well, exactly. Very nice open points here, guys. I mean, it is. I love how the thing and how the scheme, but it's still staying in the same lane, guys. Okay, it's just a variation of topics that people get ridiculed about. I think that as things unroll, we're going to get to a place where there's complete dialogue about what people enjoy within the ranks. Now, you don't have to be explicit. You don't have to give us a play-by-play book of what's going on with you.
No,
that's not what people are asking you to do. And I think that's unfair to even ask somebody what they want to do play-by-play. That's one of the problems I have with quote-unquote heterosexual men, or I won't say straight men, anyway. Heterosexual men claiming that they know or want to know every play-by-play that happens with a gay, a gay male, or calling it gay sex. Okay, you know what I'm saying? What is gay sex? I'm just saying, this kind of gives it a shift to the point of all of a sudden now, we mentioned this on the last show, you made this just before Thanksgiving break, where we're talking about the article that, that Denzel did, in People Magazine, about Kevin Spacey, and they had asked him, Denzel didn't like about Kevin Spacey and his sexuality. Then Denzel said, well, I didn't know he was gay.
It didn't even matter.
It didn't matter. You know what I'm saying? Denzel said it didn't matter. So, I mean, you all are making and it's something how it rolled into that. I'll get your point. How it rolled into this is because Denzel has a pet scene. Not even if it was one thing, even if you got passionately into the kiss. Okay, America, you're the one with the problems with a male kissing a male. Okay, all these other countries, okay, they greet their brothers with a kiss. Now, some kiss on the cheek and some will kiss on the lips. Okay, it depends on where you are, and
it's custom.
It's custom in certain, and they're not
trying. Some people greet with their noses touching each
exactly.
other. So at the
they're not doing this to be all into this sexual movement and oh my God, I'm just feeling this all kind of way because I gave somebody a kiss. You know, I mean, y'all need to lighten up.
Well,
okay,
I mean, America. America needs to lighten up.
It's
not Europe. It's definitely not Europe, to be honest with you. That's the problem. A lot of America is totally different from Europe. Yeah. We want to believe that we are of the Puritan society, and we like to throw our puritanical things on everything. Yeah, and that's that has always been our situation within the history that this country was built on. It's always had some type of faith situation going on in the behind the scenes. I don't want to take up too much of it, but it's just the fact that that's the problem. Go ahead, D.
Well, yeah, you know, that's the thing about it is like that's like even now how they everything that when it come down to the United States has been played out with the factor of the religion aspect of it. Oh, religion is this, and God don't want you to be this, and that God don't want you to be that. Like I be sitting back a lot of days like, the type of hell that you raise and the life that you live, you think that I know for a fact that you ain't talking to the Lord and he ain't talking to you that way.
Okay. Because he ain't showing telling you that way, but go ahead.
And it's crazy to me how when you see I had a situation. I was talking to an individual about a few weeks ago at work. And he was saying, he said, I just don't. He's one of those on my actual job. One of those Trumpers said, yeah, I know. I'm glad that things are gonna get in order. Ain't no reason why the factor of the God didn't tell people that they should be turned around and being with the same sex, and God didn't say that therefore that a woman's supposed to be able to get rid of a child, and God didn't say that a woman that I said, so my question is this. I said, look at those shoes that you got on. He said, I said, those are some Italian leather loafers that you have on. And they have the Italian leather and suede, or whatever the case may be. I said, you're wearing two different materials, or whatever the case may be. What does God say about those things? I said, you're a Catholic person, or whatever the case may be. And a lot of y'all worship this statue, or whatever the case may be. What does God say about those things?
What did he say? You couldn't say that good.
He says, that's different. That's different. I said, okay. I said, y'all justify what y'all want to justify. Y'all take away what y'all want to take away, or whatever the case would be. But therefore, you traded in your statue of Santa Maria and all these people in for the statue of Trump.
Well,
thinking that he's gonna be your savior. I said, this man is not gonna save y'all. I said, a lot of y'all are right now figuring out the fact that the shit that you thought there was gonna be is not going to be.
But they don't want to be saved, D, and that's the thing. That's why I've been saying since the beginning, before all of this has happened. The working class American don't want to be saved. We want to compete against each other, and then on top of that, we want somebody rich to tell us we better than the next person. You know, Trump is this type of person. Is this rich white man that poor white folks are so wanting to be a part of.
But go to this one. But he was the one I was telling you about.
Part of him. He don't want them nowhere near his situation. So the saddest thing about this is rich people, and I say this, I was staying 10 toes.
He was the rich one. That's the one I was telling you about, JB. The big boss. That's the one who said it. He is the rich one.
Wow.
But you know what? To be honest with you, we allow these people to divide and conquer us. The boogeyman in this situation is the gay people, the trans people, it's the abortion, it's all of this stuff. And the saddest thing about that is a $1 million push agenda to keep working class people not thinking about the situation at hand. You can't, for some strange reason, now that you can afford Black Friday, but you couldn't afford eggs and milk some days back.
Hit your mute, Dick.
Yeah, please do, Darnell, because it's buzzing just a little bit. You couldn't afford eggs and milk, but you can afford Black Friday. You don't want women to be the president of the United States, but you as a woman you're managing over a group of people, man and female, sometimes children as well, even the man. You don't want a woman as a female, not woman as a female, but a woman as a president, but still at the end of the day, you have to work beside one every day. And then go home to one, and then have had people teach you. That's the thing I don't quite understand. And that is the ridiculousness of the fact that we have allowed this ushered in this ignorance. Because I feel like at the end of the day, I don't believe I've been living in a democracy. I think I've been living in the society of an idiocracy. With people who
idiocracy.
of idiocracy, because of people who don't think. We're trying to get ahead in this thing called capitalism. But you have allowed somebody to tell you, well, you know what, you ain't ahead because of this trans person. You ain't ahead because of this DEI. At the end of the day, we know why we're not ahead, and you got them now in the White House, or you have them now ruling over us through our jobs. And then on top of that, did y'all see the guy that got killed, the CEO?
Yeah, CEO.
See, the thing about that is a wake up call. Now we don't know the situation behind that situation, but I can say this: somebody was pissed off and disgruntled about what the hell was going on, and decided to take matters into his own hands. I hope most Americans are waking up to the fact that this is going to happen sooner or later. We're going to be seeing a whole lot of this stuff happening. But, that is the problem with our country. Only country. You got the UK over there. They're going through the same damn thing. People not standing up and defying gravity. You got people pulling us down through the sheer will of saying, I don't want to work beside this Black person or this gay person or this woman. I don't like this woman over me. And you can't even afford your lights or your rent. Make it make sense.
Well, I mean, again, as always, you always unpacked a lot of, great nuggets as to what you're saying.
I was gibberish. I was speaking gibberish.
But it's actually very good as to what you're bringing those points in, because back to the situation where the Wicked movie plays so much of a really strong point in where we are in society right now, as individuals, as collectively. One of the things I wanted to address is the man behind the curtain.
Oh shit.
Okay. And where people are with that man behind the curtain. There's so much deception with the man behind the curtain. Okay. And if you're not careful, or if you hadn't been careful, you may find out that the man behind the curtain ended up being your daddy. Wow. That's a moment.
That was the craziest part about the whole movie.
Yeah. So
and
the play, absolutely. It is, because you have to watch it very closely, because it'll allow you to get past, it'll jump past you.
But he was a scammer. He was He was a scammer. And to be honest with you, that is
okay.
That is art imitating life.
Yes.
We have a lot of scammers. And we want to believe that they're telling us the truth, because we don't want to think for ourselves. And that is this country. We don't want to defy gravity, because we want somebody rich telling us what we should already know for ourselves. But we don't. But see, with that comes divide and conquer.
Absolutely.
You have.
Break it down.
I cannot blame the pimp for pimping the people. I can't blame the rich pimp or the rich scammer for scamming the people, when the people they love to be scammed. We like the Kardashians throwing $20 at poor people. We do. Yeah. We like to see people, celebrities pushing people out the way. We like to see people just disregarding us as humans because of our class. us. And I tell people all the time, I don't get so caught up in what is so what they call it when you're on social media. What's up to influencers, but you know what I'm trying to get at. You know what's popular for the day. I don't get into it because at the end of the day, what's popular today would be mashed potatoes the next. Because people don't understand that it's a fad. Right. Everything is a fad. As long as we're doing what is making us feel better and living our own lives and trying to go out and do what we need to do for ourselves, we will be in a whole better situation and probably will be thinking a whole lot clearer about what we would want as a country. But right now we're in a fog because you even got black people who want to go back to being slaves. Ain't there some shit? You got black folks who they even on TikTok picking cotton. That's crazy to me. That's crazy.
It goes back to what you were saying. We've always said is that people not knowing who they are.
They don't.
And this fictitious idea of life, what they necessarily may have, is coming through someone else.
But the truth will reveal itself.
The man behind the curtain will show up every time.
It's going to reveal itself.
And then right now you got a man that has been behind this curtain that has orchestrated so much shit, in this country. Okay, that folks are actually believing what it is, but as we said tonight, but it's time for you to start defying gravity, defining who you are as a single individual. That's one of the things that Alpha did. I want you to expound on one quick about that in that area. Breaking point about flying monkeys and how the flying monkeys came about. All right. That's a very, very, very powerful point in the movie. Okay,
based on mass deportation.
Okay, there we go.
Symbolism.
I'm telling you, all the way. Mass deportation came right out in the movie. Right, well, in the play too.
And it went over everybody's heads. It went over. It went over everybody's head. Darnell, they don't. That movie was so art imitating life. That ending was so. To the point of what's going on right now, even down to the parachute with the red and white bars.
So, speaking of that, have you guys watched on Netflix the show called Madness? The series Madness with Domingo.
Yeah. I'm planning to.
So listen,
tonight.
That show, it gives you a playbook of how the behind the scenes shit works and how the behind the scenes stuff goes, because something and someone always have to take the fall.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because it's always a big person, and it's always somebody somewhere that is I ain't gonna tell you much, but I'm telling you. It is crazy. They basically gave you a playbook of what's happening, how things happen, how the government work when it come down to things, how you got people doing this there. You got the rich, how the rich operate when it come down to things, how the factor of the KKK and these groups and organizations and stuff, all of that stuff.
Which makes me laugh. Go on, Darnell. Go ahead and finish what you were saying. I'm sorry.
No, I'm talking. It's really crazy because on there you have him basically just living his life. He got his issues. His wife, they separated. This, that, and other, and the third. They got a son. He's trying to become. He's worked for CNN, and he goes out to this cabin to basically clear his mind and to write because he's a writer as well. Next thing he know, the man who's next door comes to speak to him is the head of the KKK.
Oh wow!
So all the lights end up being out in the cabin that he's staying in. He go over to go and tell him, hey, because the man said if you need any help, whatever you need anything, I'm next door. He go over to see. Next thing he looking for the man's nowhere to find. He go out in his back house. They done went and cut this man body up.
What? Wow.
Now, on top of it, they now think that a black man has killed the head of the KKK.
Wow. So that opens up a huge amount of stuff.
So this man has, like, we talking about these to the point where these people harass this man. Like, it was crazy how they harassed this man. When y'all watch it, y'all gonna be like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Wow.
Like, to the point, his family, to the like they taunted him to the point, to the crazy, they planned the murder on him.
Wow.
All it's on top of it, and then it was crazy because he thought the whole time that therefore, the KKK was after him because they thought that he had killed him. But the whole time it was a big high government official who turned around and was behind the whole thing.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
how some people feel about 9/11, to be honest with you. And that's just a conspiracy of it. But I'm not surprised, because every time I hear people talking about what Trump's gonna do this, Trump's gonna do that, I be laughing, because everybody forgets that David Duke put a lot of money behind Trump. Proud Boys put a lot of money behind Trump. At the end of the day, Trump ain't gotta do nothing but sit back and be Trump and be a figurehead. Well, that's the only thing he can do. That he is not going to do too much of anything, because he has found people to do his bidding. And like I keep telling people, the man is a figurehead. He's not going to do nothing but allow these people to run these organizations. They're going to cut down big government. What is big government? Listen, hey. This is, at the end of the day, for whatever reason, we have always had this government. So now y'all come up with new names, big government, whatever. But at the end of the day, this is what he's going to do. He's going to sit back and not do anything. And that's that's what's going to happen.
Pulling it back into the man behind the curtain.
Okay? He is the man behind the curtain.
But see, one of the things that if you guys have followed both stories, typically the Wizard of Oz, gives a different spin on what it is. But if you get into this a little bit more, how the wizard came into power. He came into power by fear. Okay. Sound
just
familiar?
Like Hitler.
Sound familiar?
Just like
he came into power by fear. So everybody in Oz was afraid of his alleged powers. So anytime that if they were granted to come in his graceful presence, he had the big smoke and screen and this big disfigured illusional head that was in front of everybody. Okay, so everybody came in what? Fear, and trembling. Okay, and they could never get what they get done. So what they would go back is they would tell that if the ones that got selected to go in, they go back and tell everybody else on Oz, well, this is what I witnessed. We got to fear this man. At the end of the day, and finding out that he was a fake the whole time. He was a fake. He was a fake crony. He was a fake. All these other type of things, and he used the main point, everybody else's power. Okay, to make himself look good. Does that not sound familiar?
And he was recruiting Elphaba for that.
Because she had the ultimate power.
She had the ultimate power.
So therefore, that's why he recruited her. That's why he lied to her. But now the amazing part about that is that how is it that in your own family, okay, let's just take it off of the bigger scope, but how in your own family that you can be moved into a position of being completely deceived.
Oh.
You know what I mean? Completely deceived, and you're being set up for something. Now, we could say that she's been set up for one aspect of it, but then again, she was also set up to be a greater person than what was ever imagined about it, So let's talk about defying gravity just for a minute for the last last points of the show. So, individually, we're going to talk about what we see as ourselves of defying gravity. You want me to go first? You go first.
Go ahead.
Okay. So, I became a fan of Wicked. I see it played 4 times, and I couldn't wait for the movie to come out, whole 9 yards. And then I got, of course, listening to the soundtrack and whatever the case may be. So as an actor, you have your points where you become a couch server. You're trying to find a place to lay your head, and you ain't know where nothing was going from. All right. But at this time, I was, of course, being a member at the gym, and I was needing encouragement, okay, for me. And I wasn't trying to find the Kirk Franklin. I wasn't trying for the Clock Sisters. I ain't got trying to find from all these other people. Okay, that really could not bring what I needed. Okay, some people find in those those areas that lift them up, but I wanted something to really lift me up. And this is not negating anything about how God may be for your life. All right, but I had to find something for myself. So every day that I went to the gym, I was on the step mill. Okay, and I would play Defying Gravity over and over and over again. Every day I would make that a part of myself. But when you start letting it resonate to you as a person, and I encourage you guys, listen to the soundtrack. If you can't catch it all in the movie, go back and listen to the words. The words in that, all of the songs are great, but that particular one, you listen to the words, and you get to a place in your life where you say that I am tired of the bullshit that's coming at me. Just putting it bluntly. Okay. And I've got to find a way to rise up above it, you know, but in order for me to rise up above it, I got to know who I am. Okay. To rise up above it. And when you make that conscious decision to rise above any situation, circumstances, anything that anybody has ever said about you, will say about you, and want to say about you, then you will have the power within to soar above every situation that comes your way. And then you're in a place of defying gravity, and you rise up above it. So the symbolism, of course, is just a phenomenal point in this movie that you watch this evolution of a person that has been through hell and high water to rise up about it. Yes, she's a witch. Yes, I know you Christian folk have a problem with her being a witch. Whatever. Y'all got witches right to sit next to your church. All right. All right, you got right to sit at your church, okay? You know, spirit of witchcraft, y'all control and manipulating people. All right, so y'all let the word says the spirit of witchcraft, okay? But we ain't gonna go there. But anyway,
but it does put in perspective this, and this. I feel like Broadway or anything that's art wise, I know now why a lot of conservatives or a lot of sacrilegious people hate Broadway and hate stuff of that nature, because you think about it, you talking about Defying Gravity. Let's talk about The Color Purple, the song The Color Purple.
Yes.
Let's talk about In the Woods, Children Will Listen.
Yes.
And Broadway and stuff of that nature makes you think.
Let me interrupt you.
Let
Darnell say his goodbye.
Go ahead, Darnell. I'm so sorry. Go ahead.
But no, yes, guys. I just say this. This is the biggest thing from now until we get past this BS that's going on, and we hope that it might be a turnaround. We know they say it's a great gift that's getting ready to come to us for Christmas. Or whatever it should be. So we gonna hope and see. But if not, all I can say is this: I tell people, baby, you better stay on your P's and Q's and dot every I and cross every T. Save your money and make sure that all your affairs is in order. Or whatever. And as a community, we need to make sure that we stay checking on each other. Because it could turn very ugly very quickly.
Right. Well, they wanted to turn very ugly.
Right.
The very same people who talk about peace and love and God and all this stuff, they want apocalypse to rain down on people who don't think the same way they think. Exactly. And the saddest thing about it is, though, that's not what we thought this experimenting of democracy was about. But, this is what other people feel like, this is what they want. Right. This is what they. So hey, to each his own.
Right.
But
all we do is just keep doing our part and making sure that we do what we're supposed to do. Make sure that people know the things they need to know, and take care of ourselves as well as we can. And that's all. That's it.
Absolutely. And keep pushing to defy gravity in every area of your life. But go ahead. I know you got to run. We'll finish up tonight.
But yes, guys, I love you.
Okay, we'll see you next week.
All right.
Bye. Love you.
But going back, to what you were saying, I now understand why people of a certain part of the country do not like to see stuff like that on television or to go see stage plays like that. Because if you think about it, Broadway is a very revolutionary art. It's always been very revolutionary. From South Pacific. You have to be taught to hate or cockeyed optimist. You think about In the Woods, Children Will Listen. You think about all of these songs, but Defying Gravity, you have to sit there and listen to that and try to defy, try to rise above what has been
going on in your life,
what people have put into your heart that is wrong, because there is another way, there is another hypothesis, and sometimes you have to push through. And
sometimes you do have to push
well,
through.
all the time you have to push through.
Absolutely.
Let me take that back. All the time you have to push through. But even in the situation, I'm not perfect. I ain't gonna even sit up here and say that, all this stuff that we preach, that we talk about, what we believe is authentic. Sometimes it's hard for people. In my case, it's hard to rise above because you live in such a world where people don't want you to rise above. I go to work every day in the morning hoping and praying that it's going to be a great day. But then you have this one person that will come around the corner and make it a horrible day. And you have to defy gravity. And sometimes it's so hard in this skin. And because the flesh is weak. We have moments where we just think all types of craziness because this person has this and said so much to hurt us. And yes, at the end of the day, we have to do any means to make ourselves feel better. You have to encourage yourself. And I think in most situations, we want somebody to encourage us, but that's where we get it all wrong, and that's where I get it wrong. I'm going to be truthful. That's where I get it wrong because I want somebody to tell me you're doing good, you are doing great, when I should be telling myself that. But it's you just want that for yourself to have somebody look and say you're doing. I would have, back in the day when I was growing up, I would have wanted that every day. And if I would have gotten that every day, I would have probably been, hey, I don't know where I would have been, but I'm here right now and I'm doing what I have to do. But it is a struggle to defy gravity. I mean, it is. It's a struggle.
A whole lot. I mean, I love when you take those opportunities to be transparent, with the son. We're all here to be transparent. I mean, as I was saying, as we were talking about defying gravity, it is very difficult every day to defy gravity, and you look at the impact of then the symbolism of where, the movie or the play, does that, is that this girl in a given moment, because these people were out to kill her.
Because she was unique.
Because she was unique. She was unique. And you had this whole host of an army, of cynicism, of hatred, of lack of trust and the bad words and all these things were being perpetuated. The fear that was being poured into this group of people, from a point that somebody they trusted, from this woman, not from her, but Madam, whatever her name is, I can't think of her name right now, but all of this and this she interjected into the people, about her, so all of these people became in a place where they wanted vengeance over her. You know what I mean?
Right now you have politicians that are doing that. You have politicians in real time telling people that we're going to strip away little by little what makes you authentic. Because somebody feels like you shouldn't have, because my beliefs say you shouldn't have. But hey, at the end of the day, it's not hurting me or hurting you if somebody wants to live their life a certain way. But I think that's where the problem as a society, that's where we get it all wrong. We want, and I don't impose my worldview on anybody. What I speak, it's my life.
Your truth.
It's my truth. You don't have to accept it. I do not care if you don't accept it. But I, for one, have to live in my truth. Because to be honest with you, the ones who claim or the ones who are corrupting society are not telling the truth.
Right, that's true.
Absolutely. So at the end of the day, I would rather be doing me, being who I think is my authentic self, being my authentic self, and just saying to y'all, this is what I believe, and it is what it is.
Right. Well, it is the hope here, as we say from week to week for the past 5 years, sitting right here on this camera, wanting to encourage you guys to really go within. Start processing what you are and what you bring to this planet. Okay. It is an individual journey. Yes, it's an individual journey. I said over and over, I do not like that word journey because I feel like it's on a road to a place that never fulfillment. All right. So I would like to say or submit living in the middle of your dreams. So every time you wake up to something different, you find that you're in the middle of it. That means that you're moving forward into a greater destiny of what you are. But journey, I'm sorry, I just don't like that word because I feel like it's somewhere you're going, you never get there. All right. And there are periods in your life where you accomplish and you get to certain levels, and there's more to go. Yes, I get that part of it. But our goal every day should be defying gravity in some aspect of our lives, whether it's just even defying gravity of our own idiosyncrasies, okay, and not necessarily using something in somebody else's factor in it or made a factor in it, but it is sometimes our own ideas of ourselves. Can you imagine me waking up being green every day? You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like how you wake up and
like Kermit, the Kermit song, right?
You know, I'm just be green or whatever it was. But you're waking up being green. I'm using green as a metaphor because there are people that are punished every day by getting up and being African American. There are people throwing you down because of the color of your skin. There are people that get up every day that are Asian and wonder why you're Asian to get cheesed by you being Asian. You know, there are people that are Hispanic nature, and they get up and being cheated, by different, about who they are. And right now they're rising to be one of the most cheated communities around. Just be truthful, because if this man that's going to be in the office for the next 4 years has said that he's going to start getting rid of people and their families and everything else, then they are. But one last reference, I'll reference to the movie, and hopefully you guys will go out and see it. And we're going to be paying reference to Wicked probably to the end of the year in different ways, because we really want you to get to a place where you are rising above gravity. But there is this last scene, and we'll wrap with this, is that when the transformation of no, not her at that point, but the monkeys. And which they were servant monkeys. Okay. Servant monkeys. There's conversation that people have been called servant monkeys.
Oh, wow.
Okay. We'll let that drop on you. All right. So the servant monkeys, which is really, and they were serving the man behind the curtain. Were they not? Go see the movie. All right.
Yeah, please.
So Elphaba, in casting a spell, okay, she allowed them to acquire wings. Okay. Wings to be able to fly over circumstances and, all those type of things to rise above where they were being servants. But they came greater servants. And Madam, what's her name? I can't think of her name right. But she told them in a command. What did she tell them? She said, go and cover your own kind. Keyword, your own kind. Okay. Let's just let that drop on you just for a little bit. Okay. And where you are. How many of you told us that your own kind? Okay. Symbolism. Pay attention. Art brings life. It imitates life. Okay. Words, songs. There's a reason why this wonderful city that we live in is what it was. Yeah, it's been done wrong. Yeah, we get all that. But there's a lot of strong emphasis on a lot of things we can make references that came into plays and plays and movies. Okay. A lot of them. All right. My encouragement for you, okay, go see Wicked. This is the one that's the talk right now. All right. So this is the one you should focus around on right now. Okay. Go see it. If you live in California, right here in the LA area, it is at the Pantages Theater. Okay. For the next month. It started Tuesday. Go see the play, then go see the movie. All right. You will not regret it of knowing what the true story behind Oz and what made Oz become what it was. And next week, we'll talk about Oz a little bit more so you can understand where that has complete symbolism throughout your life and how you are Dorothy. Okay. All right. There's a Dorothy in you, and then there's an Elphaba in you. All right. And then yet there's a lot of you got a Glinda in you.
Oh, yeah.
And then let me leave it at this. How many of y'all got a wizard in you?
Oh, wow.
How much deception have you been doing behind the curtain? Okay. Pastors,
and
choir directors, politicians,
teachers.
Okay. Husbands, wives,
children.
At some point, we all have been the wizard behind the curtain. Yeah. Okay. How many of us go into a day deceiving people every day because we take the big whoosh and all of those accolades going on every day? We're deceiving somebody because we took the position behind the curtain. Okay. All right. Is that enough?
Yeah, that's enough. Okay. Unless you want to go as far as Jim Croce's "I Got a Name." I love that song. Every time I ever felt like I was in doubt, or let's just go as deeper as suicide. If I ever thought of contemplating any of that type of unnecessary thought, I will listen to Jim Croce's "I Got a Name."
Thank you for being transparent.
And to be honest with you, that song is so powerful. Even the way Lena Horne sung it in her stage play, the lady in her music, the way she preached, because I don't think she sung it, I think she preached it. When she's screaming, "Hold on, don't you let go, keep on moving on down the highway, move, come on." And it's just, when you're sitting in a situation of deep depression and you're listening to those words, you have no other choice but to try to keep moving, even if you have to crawl. Yeah. Because sometimes life will have you crawling on the ground and screaming and hollering and crying and
y'all listen, this is a good word.
And that right there, that song, "I Got a Name," it does remind you that you're not in this world by yourself. You do stand on some powerful shoulders. You have a name, and because somebody dreamed and they pushed this dream out on you, you must step forward and do what you have to do, because you are that dream.
Yes, you are.
You are the dream. Yeah. So I mean, it is what it. I have always had to listen to that song to remind myself, you're not in this by yourself. You're not in this by yourself. It's hard. Life is hard. Yeah. But hey, you got a name.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll end it with this. And you might have mentioned about Lena Horne. We're in this series of the Oz.
Okay,
Oz says, and I think this is a kind of an appropriate point to I think leave it at this particular point in time. And which the song that I really love was from The Wiz.
Oh yes, yes,
all right.
Yes, believe
in yourself right from the start.
Oh yes.
You'll have a brain and you'll have a heart. You know what? You'll have courage to last your whole life through. Believe in yourself. You belong to you. Okay? There's more words, so I'll leave it at that. Believe in yourself. You belong to you. Okay? Guys, it's been a very interesting night.
Yeah.
Okay? Thank you for joining us, on our series now, Defying Gravity. We want you to leap into 2050. Lord, I got way ahead now. 2025 with a very optimistic approach for your life, okay? Because, you got to get gripped, okay? Because there are a lot of things that are going to happen that are not, in what you wanted to see happen on either side. But you got to get gripped. You got to get prepared, all right? Get prepared and be gripped, because you can soar. You can soar above it all. All right. We love you so much. All right. Thank you for taking the time out to be a part of the Truth Behind the Truth tonight. All right. We will be right back here defining some more gravity next week. All right. Our holiday show is the 22nd. I think it is our annual Christmas show coming up on the 22nd. We were working to see if we have some of our previous hosts that will pop in on us on that particular show, just to give you, some well wishes to that. And then our New Year's show, we will be live this year on New Year's Eve show. So if not, we'll let you know. But at that point, now the week after Christmas, I think we don't be live. Okay, the holiday show, we'll figure it out. You guys will know. All right. But we do. We love you so much. Thank you so much for the support in 2024. Yeah. We are in a place where we are completely defining gravity at this point. We're looking forward to great things in 2025. As we've said for the past 5 years, this show is getting ready, getting prepared to be a network show. Okay.
All right.
It may have taken you for a while to get there, but guess what? When you soar to that place, okay, and defy the gravity that has been trying to keep you down,
that's right,
ain't nobody gonna bring you back. All right. Y'all have a blessed night. All right. Thanks for tuning into what?
Truth Behind
the Truth Behind the Truth. Love y'all. Goodbye.